क्या हो रहा है? घरी तर जावं लागेल ना. हा मग तेच तर. आता नाही नंतर निघेल. तेच कधीतरी तर निघेलच ना.
Hello, hi guys.
Hi.
So let's wait for few more minutes for everyone to join in, and then we can start the session. Thank you for joining in. Hello, everyone. Yeah, thank you for joining in and have a patience to wait for some time. I just want everyone to join in and have a minute to settle down before we start. So let's wait for another minute and start the session. Hopefully, I'm audible to you guys. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, you are audible.
Yes.
Yeah, great. Thanks for the response. Yeah. So I'm very happy to connect with you all today. This is Tripura, and I'll be your trainer for the program. Let me start sharing my screen. Yeah. Is it visible?
Yes.
Yes.
Great. So let me put it in a presenting mode. Please need to understand. Yes. So, yeah, as I told you earlier, this is Tripura, and I will be your trainer for the program. And my main goal is to help you build strong understanding about the Playwright with the Python and guide you to a level where you can confidently automate the applications and perform well in the automation testing roles. And before I do that, before I proceed forward, let me introduce you, let me help you understand my background in the testing. So I'm currently working as an automation test lead and an STET specialized in designing robust automation frameworks and leading end-to-end test automation initiatives. Well, I hold more than 8 years of experience in automation testing space alone, and I have started my career as a manual tester and upskilled myself in many tools over the 8 years of the journey. I have worked with close to 8 projects, and I have been a sole contributor with regards to the automation. And yeah, so this is about the background. Now I'll explain you the tools I have worked so far. I worked with Selenium using Java, and also Selenium using Python. I worked with Robot Framework and also have automated the mobile applications using Appium and again the robot framework again using the Python. And later I have moved towards the Cypress for the JavaScript, using the JavaScript for the UI automation. And then I have moved towards the Playwright using the JavaScript and Playwright using the Python. With the Python and Playwright alone, I work close to 3 years. And also I worked with Codesub.js, which is another new tool which is very new to the industry. And throughout the journey, I have also made the API testing automation framework too. So for the automation, I have made use of the frameworks like Page Object Model, BDD. So I build the framework from the scratch till it get deployed into the CI/CD, into the GitLab. I made use of GitLab. I have made use of GitHub Actions. I have made use of Jenkins and also the Docker for the DevOps tools too. So this is a very brief introduction about me, and I also want to know about you guys so that I can formulate my teaching scope. So I'll stop sharing my screen. I have a couple of questions for you. So here in the group, I just want to know how many of you already have experience with Playwright? How many of you already know Playwright? You can just raise your hand so I can count it. Oh, that's great. Nice. And the next question. Yeah, you can lower your hand, Vishnuvardhan. Thank you. Great. So coming to the next question, how many of you already have some basic understanding about the automation? Like I have also worked on any one of the automation tools out there. We have Selenium, we have Cypress, we have QTPs. Perfect, perfect. Any more? Hmm, that's great. So good to see it. Yeah. And how many of you have the experience in manual testing, like in the testing space? Not in the automation I'm specifying. I'm asking about the manual is also fine. Oh, wow. Seems like all of you are from the testing background. That's great. Good to know. And coming to my next question, can everyone lower your hands? Yes. So how many of you here are from the non-technical background? Like who don't know about the testing at all? Yes. So, hello, Kirti, Pranay, and Jaya. So I can see your hands are raised. Are you from the non-technical background, like not from the automation testing background? Okay. So the main intention of this session is to have everyone, like not either from the non-technical background or to the person who already know the playwright automation. I just want everyone to have the same understanding and everyone be in the same page by the end of the course. So that's the reason why I just get understanding the audience we have it here. And thank you for the reply. I will make sure my sessions are very detailed and helps even the one who doesn't know the testing at all to master it. And thank you for the reply. So, I just want to ask you a question before we proceed forward. So, yeah, the main objective of today's session is like why we need automation in the present industry and why the automation is booming and why we need Playwright in it and why we need Python for that, for automating the Playwright and what are the career opportunities we have out there in the market and what are the salary ranges in India. I can watch for India. I'm not sure about how the US market is, but I can explain you properly about the salary ranges we have it in the India. And later I will walk you through the course structure, what I'm planning to provide you in my training program for the over the next 30 days. So I'll give you a quick walkthrough over these concepts. So I just wanted to understand what you understand about the automation. So can anyone speak or can you also chat? If possible, you can also drop your message over the chat box. Like, why do you think automation is required in the current space, in the current market? I'll just wait for 1 minute. If no one are comfortable to speak, it's fine. I have another slide ready for that, so I can provide you a detailed explanation of why we need automation and why it is booming and why will it still boom even when we have AI in the market. That's right, reducing manual effort. That's a main key point for reducing to increase efficiency. Perfect. And trust me, guys, this is an interview question too. Perfect, perfect. I see that you already have a basic understanding about the automation. That's very good to know. And now I'll stop doing repeated work. Perfect. Yeah, because machine doesn't get tired like us. So we need the automation to do the repeated work. That's great. So now let me go to the next slide. So which has a detailed explanation of why we need the automation in the industry and why it will boom and it's still, why is it booming and why it still will continue to boom in the future. Okay. Now, so as you already said, faster execution. So I'll explain you a scenario first. So let's say I have a test case, which is very complex. Okay. What is a test case? Test case is nothing but a step-by-step representation of what should be done in order for the functionality to happen. So let's say I want to log in a Facebook application. So how do I do that? My test case is like I have a single test case. Like I want to a positive one. I have to provide my correct login, correct username, correct password, and click on login page. And also first I have to go to the page, right? So now my test case steps will be like go to the Facebook link and click on the Facebook link and wait till the page gets completely loaded and check whether the text boxes for the Facebook email ID and the password is visible and the login button is visible and the screen is properly intact. And then I will try to type my positive email address and the positive password and then click on the login. And after login, I have to go to the next page. So these are the basic steps I have. So this is one of the test case we have on the login page. Likewise, we may have so here we have like 5 to 6 steps and it is very easy to do it. But let's say we have a same test case with 50 steps of lines and 60 steps and we want that testing, we want to do that execute that test case repeatedly in multiple other browsers like Chrome, Safari, WebKit or Firefox, or even if I have to do that in the mobile automation or in the other environments like OS or Android. So now, in order to do this particular test case for even once, it takes close to 20 minutes, right? And if we are asked to do it every time for the regression, it will be very complex for a tester to do it because he or she cannot put their maximum efficiency all the time and can't do the multiple tasks. It is really very hectic. So in order to bypass that and in order to have some time for us, the testers. So what we do, we try to automate it. So automation by using the Playwright or Selenium or any of the automation tools out there. What we do, we once automate it and trigger it across multiple browsers and how many times ever we need, we will do it, right? So in that way, we can ensure that our time is saved and the execution is faster. And along with that, we will make sure, see, as a human beings, we tend to make errors, but a machine, the error count the machine can make until and unless we make the code wrong, it has a very less errors. It can make very less errors, right? So that's the reason why it has an improved accuracy and reusability of the test. If you want the same test case to be triggered multiple times into multiple browsers, easily it can be done. And better coverage, as I told you earlier, it can cover the we can cover it. It's again us in the background. Automation testers are the main in the background in order to make the automation properly work. So we can provide the better coverage since we'll be having an ample of the time when when the repeated tasks are being already covered by the automation. So we can cover the edge cases, and along with that, we can also cover the CI/CD. CI/CD is nothing but instead of doing it in our local machine, we will be doing it in the virtual machines and make it regression ready whenever there is a release or a deployment. Okay, and I'll explain you more about what is CI/CD and how do we you do it and what are the tools we use it in our later sessions as well. So just consider this as a pointer for that. And cost efficient, because in the longer term, when everything is automated, the testers are no longer required. I won't say it is completely eliminated, but a few still needed. But let's say in the place of the 10, we need 5 people at least. So the 5 people's cost efficient got already covered, and then enables the frequent releases because the regression is being already handled by the automation, so it will be very easy for the release. And improved productivity, consistency, and scalability. And now I'll explain you what is scalability. Scalability is nothing but a single test case. So let's say we have hundreds of the test cases. So in general, in our present world, we have many test cases, right? So testing one test case after the other will, even for the automation, it may take time. So let's say for a single test case, it takes around 5 minutes. So if we have 100, then it will be 100 into 5. So if we have an option to trigger them parallelly, like 100 test cases at a time, or at least 20 test cases at a time, then we are saving so much of the time as well. Correct? So that's a, so the flexibility of providing the load, I mean the work, the browsers at a time, the multiple browsers at a time is called scalability, and that is also even possible with the automation, and that is more feasible with the Playwright. Okay. So I can give you a minute to understand these, because this is also another interview question for you. Do you have any questions around this area before I go to the next slide? Perfect. I'll proceed to the next. Yes. So now we understood the importance of the automation, and because of those importance, the demand of the automation keeps on increasing. And also, if a person has a multiple skills under their bucket, like if they know how to code, I'm not saying the complete coding, if they know the level of the code till they know the automation basics, or till they do the automation, that should be more than good. So the coding, and if they know the automation, any of the tool, but mostly you have to pick the tool which is more in demand. So to, for you to be in the demand, you should pick the tools which are in demand. And then if you know the API testing, because as your experience grows, the companies want to recruit someone who will be like an all-rounder, who can handle UI testing, who can handle API testing, who can handle database testing, and who can handle mobile testing, and also facilitate, they can do the CI/CD. So like the all-rounder. So those people will be in higher demand, and those skills will always be in a higher demand, I should say. And yeah, as we know, these skills, if you have it, then the salary is also, career growth is always and in an exponential range. So these skills will always be in demand. So now I'll go to the next slide to understand why the Playwright is in demand. Is Playwright really in demand, or do we have any other tools? We'll understand it more now. So before we go it further, do you have any questions so far? You can also ask me, tell me anything, like whether I'm going very speed or slow. I'm open to any comments you have. Great. So I'll take that as a no, and I'll continue to the next slide. So why Playwright? So as you already saw the skills I had earlier, the tools I have showed you earlier, and also the tools we have outside like Selenium, QTP, we have Mabel, we have Cypress, Code.js, like many tools out there. So why the trend is going towards a Playwright? Because most of the modern tools, because in the earlier tools which we had, there are leaks, like few are a bit slow, few are very heavy to install, few tools like Selenium, it is very heavy to install and required many third party plugins like Maven, like TestNG, like reporting. Also we need to install many third party tools, and even for the API automation we need to have an external plugin. We need to have an external plugin as well. But for the Playwright, all those things, whatever the leaks we had in the previous tools, that been completely eliminated, because it has been an all-rounder. It can directly provide you the API automation facility. It can directly provide you the mobile browser. Okay, not native, not hybrid, only the mobile browser automation facility. It can have a seamless integration with the CI/CD, and the very great feature we have it is auto waits. Auto waits here, if you see, let's say you have opened the browser, example again the Facebook, and you have to wait a certain time, certain minutes for the email and the password to appear, right? So usually in the Selenium for the page loading, it will wait. But if you click on something and if you want the other element to appear, that waits, it doesn't support those waits. You have to explicitly ask, like you have to provide an explicit wait, or you have to ask the automation to halt for 2 to 3 seconds before going to the next step. You have to tell the automation to do everything. But here the Playwright, it will understand it and it will automatically wait for a couple of seconds before throwing you any exception. Let's say I have clicked on the login button, and after login button I want to see something, and it is taking a bit of the time because of my loading issue or my network issue or anything, or the page issue, something. It is taking a bit of time, let's say around 4 to 5 seconds. And before throwing an error, it will wait for few minutes, few seconds, like 4 to 5. And even that is configurable. If you want that to wait for the 10 seconds before throwing an error, it will wait. You don't have to explicitly tell at each and every line. You can directly configure it, or you can use the default ways. So that's an excellent feature. We have it with the Playwright. Along with that, parallel execution. As I told you earlier, let's say you have 100 test cases and you want parallelly trigger like 20 to 30 test cases at a time without any external setup, without any installation of the external plugins. We can directly configure that. You just have to provide the desired number of parallel execution in a JSON key. Let's say parallel, yes, workers 10. Only these two are the steps you need to make the parallel execution facilitated. Well, with the other browsers, well, with the other tools, you have to provide an external setup, a hell lot of a big setup to make that parallel execution also very to make it possible. Okay, so that's the main reason why even the beginners and even most of the team out there is moving towards the Playwright, because it is beginner friendly, easy to understand, easy to set up, and provides multiple opportunities for testing, all rounder. So now I have a quick slide to understand what's the difference between the Selenium and the Playwright, and why the Playwright over the Selenium. And guys who are the Selenium fans, please don't mind. I'm just using this as an example to help you understand why the Playwright is a perfect tool now in the market, and why it will still be the demand will still keep on growing for the Playwright. I'm just trying to make you understand in a normal way. Okay. So now, as I told you earlier, Selenium is a bit heavy. We need jars, we need drivers to work on. We have few automation testers already available in the audience, right? So they can even um, understand it very quickly now. We need, so for the Selenium, in order to open a browser, we need to get the drivers. Each browser, we need to get the drivers. But for the Playwright, we don't need it. Since the Selenium is working with the drivers, it will be a bit slow. Well, the Playwright doesn't need a driver, so it is very quick. Okay. And again, this is an important question in the interview as well. Please pick up if you don't understand anything. I can explain you more about this one as well. Okay. And as I explained you earlier, auto waits. In the Selenium, we have to explicitly give to wait. Well, in the Playwright, you doesn't need it. It directly waits. And I'll show you properly in the coming sessions why it is waiting and how to increase the time to wait also. And the next thing is network mocking, which is a very good features. Network mocking is nothing but enrouting the API calls from one thing to another. Okay, and this also in detail, I'll explain you about the API testing and how to do the network mocking and why to do the network mocking in the coming slides, in the coming sessions. And in the Selenium, it is very limited. I would say it is no. And the Playwright, it is very advanced, robust, and it is very quick. Parallel execution also, we have parallel execution is nothing but having 10 to 20 browsers at a time. Okay, I mean 10 to 20 test cases to get triggered at a time in multiple browsers also, or in the same browser or in the multiple browser, anything. That is parallel execution. Okay. And with the Selenium, it is possible, but it has a set of setup we need to done. We need to install the plugins. We need to get the test engine. We need to have the listeners and everything for this Selenium. But the Playwright, You don't have to do anything. Just provide the value near the parallel keyword. That's it. And as I told you earlier, the Playwright is very easy to use, and the browser supports both the ID tools provides an excellent browser supports. Well, with the Selenium we needed drivers, but for the Playwright we don't need the drivers. And the stability, as I told you, for the Selenium it is moderate. Playwright it is excellent because we don't need an external plugins at all. So this is a brief about the Playwright and the complexity and how to use it. This is about the high level explanation about the Playwright. So let me go to the next slide about understand why we need a Python. So before going to the Python, I'll just pause for 2 seconds and ask a question whether you have you understood the earlier slide. Yes. So is Playwright used more with JavaScript or Python? So thank you, Jaya, for asking. My next slide actually explains you more about this. So I'll park this for a moment. Any other questions on why Playwright before we proceed forward to the Jaya's question? Yeah, I'll take that as a no. And thank you, team, for listening. I'll go to the next slide. Yeah. So now why Python? So yes. So earlier, I'll answer your question first, yeah. So we have wide variety, wide range of users for the Playwright for Python and also for the JavaScript. But the JavaScript so far, currently we have JavaScript more than Python because most of the modern browsers, they are using the JavaScript, the startups and all. But if you're going with a well-versed project, but if you think about now towards the future, Python will boom. I'll explain you now why. Because most of the companies out there, like most of the companies, like data driven companies, which uses the ML models, they have their entire code base on the Python. And even if they use the Selenium, they had their automation test cases written in the Python. So now they want everything to get migrated towards the Playwright. So even in the Playwright, they wanted to use a Python because they want even the developers to understand the automation code which the automation testers are using. So everyone, even in the future, the Python will boom than JavaScript because Python is very beginner friendly than the JavaScript because JavaScript has a few tricky complexities like asynchronous natures or its ability to get the value from the document and everything. So a bit, if you think about the beginner friendly and the market for the Python will boom more. If you see here, all the AI or ML models and data engineers and cloud automations and DevOps scripting, everything is mostly happening in Python, and most of the companies will want a unified language across their companies, correct? So Python will boom. And apart from making the things easy, Python has packages which can directly help you to integrate the AI into your automation. Well, with the JavaScript, it's a bit tricky with the JavaScript, but with the Playwright, with the Python, it is very quick. It can directly grab the AI concepts because it already has an inbuilt libraries available in the Python. So that's the market we have it. And to answer more about your question, I'll open you a quick. I'll show you a quick graph. 1 second. Yeah. Let me reshare my screen again. Yes, TypeScript is also trending. So I have. So here I have a graph. So this is a Google Trends which I'm using. It is a live data. So you can compare it with any tools or any languages which over the last 5 years or since 2004 or 90 days, what other tools are majorly got downloaded from the Google. So these are the trends. So blue line is nothing but Python and red is JavaScript. So if you see here, the trend for the Python is more, and for the trend for the JavaScript is also more, but compared to the Python, it's a bit less. Correct? So as I told you earlier, the future is AI. So most of the companies want the Python. And if we know the Python well, we can also leverage that knowledge to test, to expand our testing for the ML models. We can expand our testing for AI models. Even that area will boom in the future because everyone wants their models also to get tested properly. So if you know the Python, then it's another added advantage. And I also want to show you the trend between the Selenium and Playwright. Sorry. Yeah. And again, the filter for 5 years. If you see here, the Playwright market started. The red line is Playwright and the blue one is Selenium. Okay. So it was huge. It's more. I mean, during 2022, it was top. But once a Playwright started appearing, it started from the 2024. A Playwright is not invented in 2024, but its market started from 2024. And once a Playwright started, its demand got increased, and even it crossed now the Selenium one. And I also want to say that even in the present market, most of the companies, like they wanted to migrate their test cases from the Selenium to Playwright because they wanted to have a single application for everything, like for the automating APIs, for automating the DBs also. So they don't want to have a multiple plugins, and because the use of multiple plugins again increases the cost of that project, correct? So in order to have it very cost efficient, because nothing is that free. Few are free, but in order to leverage the core project experience, they have to pay certain amount to the teams. So in order to have a cost efficient process, they are migrating towards a Playwright. So I can say for next few years, at least the Playwright will boom, and it's a hot skill. And if you understand it, even everyone started learning the Playwright since the last few years, since the last 2024. So if you go to a market, if you go and give your interviews, start giving your interviews. So even the interviewers uh, are not well skilled. I won't say they're in a dumber position, but they're not in a higher range like Selenium. If you go to the interviews for the Selenium, there are hell lot of questions for the Selenium and also Java, right? So the interview complexity will not be that range. It will be far less with the Playwright. So uh, it will be a bit easy for the beginners to crack an automation testing job if you know the Playwright, because interview will be really easy. And you should know the coding also. Coding, I mean, not an extensive development coding. Um, to the automation perspective, I'll help you understand it more in my future classes as well. Okay. So that is the brief introduction about the Playwright, Python. Now coming to my next slide. Hope you guys are understanding the things which I have explained so far. I'm just explaining you in a general term so that it will be easy for you to understand the future in the tools you are working in. So now I'll walk you through my course coverage. So for that, I'll open our page, our website. Yes. So here it is. And starting in the very first day, I'll help you. Very first day, I'll start with the coding itself because we need to know the Python basics in order to leverage the Playwright. Okay. So in the Python, I'll help you to set up the Python, to install an IDE, because after installing the Python, we need an IDE to do the coding. Correct. So I'll help you install the Python and IDE, and later we will understand the concepts of variable, data types, operators, and the conditional statements we have, if, else, if, or the entire coverage I had it for the Python. I have put my Playwright into the consideration, and whatever the automation concepts needed, I have added all the end. I have covered all the concepts which is needed for the automation in here. So here we have also we are covering the loops, we are covering the functions, parameters, OOPS concepts, and the exception handling, which is very main, and file handling. Most of the projects need file handling because all our data will be available in an Excel or CSV or JSON files and everything. And how to import the modules, how to do for these things we need it for the framework development. So I'll help you in detail all the required concepts for the Playwright, and by the end of each and every session I'll have an assignment for you, and we can discuss if you don't understand anything in the next session, or if you feel like it is a bit difficult to complete the assignment, or any issues in the assignment, we can discuss in the next class as well. Okay, so I have kept around 3 hours for the Python alone, and later once you are skilled with the Python basics, then we will be going towards the Playwright. So here again, I'll explain you the architecture of the Playwright. So all the while I told you the Playwright is very fast, very fast, very fast. Well, why it is fast? And what is the main architecture of the Playwright? What it is doing with the browsers? Everything I'll explain you over the session, and what are the supporting browsers we have it, and how to trigger the executions, and how to interact with the page, like how to open it, how to click on an element, how to type something in the text box, and how to use the keyboard, even few cases like until and unless you hover on a button, you won't be seeing few elements, right? So how to handle those areas, how to handle dynamic elements, how to handle the drop downs, check boxes. I'll help you understand this and be a master in it. And the main and the major important thing is locators, how to locate an element, and how to take up their location, unique locators, and use it for the automation with the mini project. And as a tester, it is very important for us to add the assertions. Okay, this is another major concept. How many types of assertions we have, and where we need to put it, what type of validations we have, and how to maintain the synchronization is nothing but waiting for one line to complete before we do the other line, and error handling, everything. We will be covering it in day 4 till day 8. So for that, I have put around 5 hours for that. I mean 5 days for understanding the basics of the Playwright. And knowing the Playwright, yes. So, oh, you have a question. Is Python sessions covered separately or included with the tool after the basics? Did I answer your questions, Venkat? Because I have already covered this part earlier. So we do have the Python sessions, which I have already uh, before the Playwright itself, I'm scheduling it, because when I explain you about the Playwright, it will be easy for everyone to understand. Okay, so in the beginning, starting from the tomorrow, we will be starting with the Python first. And we have allotted around close to 3 hours for that. And later, after the Python sessions, we are covering the Playwright, because we have to make use of Python. Hope I answered your question. And uh, once we write the Playwright, writing alone is not sufficient. We have to have a proper structure for the Playwright, correct? So how we are handling it, where we are putting the locators, where we are creating the methods, and everything, that is called as a framework. The process of having a structure for our code, for our automation, is framework, and frameworks are really important in our real-time project. So I'll explain you deeply about page object model. I'll explain you deeply about BDD models also. BDD is also majorly used out there. So I'll explain you about these two majorly used frameworks. And I'll also explain you how to handle pop-ups, file handling, iframes, and everything. So that after completion of these frameworks, I'll help you to understand the use of PyTest also. When you are dealing with Python, you should also know the usage of PyTest. Yes. We can we. So thank you, Murli, for asking the question. Can we execute test in a headless mode in Playwright? Yes, we can do it. Yes. So here, coming back to our concepts. So cookies, sessions, configuration. So these are the major important things which I'll be covering it. And when a test case gets failed, you should also understand why the test case is getting failed, right? So for that, that is called as debugging. To understand how to figure out why the test case is failing, we use debugging tools. And for seamless automation, like even the Playwright has a feature to automate it, to automate the test cases without your intervention. Like you just have to explain the model of by clicking. So by using the code gen, we can directly automate it without you writing the code. It will provide the code as well. So that I'll show you the AI model of how to do the debugging and also code gen. And even after execution, what we need to do, we have to get the report. All the execution status needs to be reported properly. So what are the plugins we have? So what are the reporting tools we have? I'll explain you that as well. And for these things, I have allotted close to 5 hours to understand the framework and to for the debugging and also for the reporting and all. We have allotted close to 5 hours. Okay. And I'll pause it here because Atharva has a question in the chat. Will the sessions use sync or async? So basically, sync or async, it is mainly the concepts of JavaScript rather than the Playwright. Sorry, Python. So in the Python, we can directly use it dev and it has the synchronous nature. It is synchronous in nature by default. So we don't need it. Yeah. Hope. Okay. Sync and async. When you are importing the Playwright itself, we can directly use sync. I'll show you a basic one code. Yes, sync API. If this is what you are referring in the chat, you can understand it from here. So I'm directly getting it from the sync so that all my pages will wait for a certain amount of time before going to the next step. So I'll explain you deeply in my next sessions. Okay. Now we have the other code coverage. Yes. So now when you are dealing with the automation, let's say, well, let's take the example of writing the login page again for the Facebook. So for the login page, we have an email ID and a password, correct? So these data, we won't be directly providing it in our code. We will be providing that either in my Excel or in a JSON file or somewhere. So the process of getting the data during the execution from these files, it's called data-driven testing, and I'll explain you in deep about what is data-driven testing and what are the uh, uh, files we have and how to get the data, everything. And I'll explain you about the parallel execution, cross-browser testing. And after everything is properly set, after completion of the code, I'll explain you how the CI/CD integration also. How for the CI/CD, we need GitHub or GitHub Actions or we need Jenkins or anything. So how to set up the CI/CD, I'll explain you. And what is CI/CD also, I'll explain you in the future. So all these concepts will make you an estate. If you master the skill of using the CI/CD or Docker, it will make you a proper estate which will have a high demand in the market. It still has. Okay, and the reporting. And so far we have covered the concepts of UI testing, which is nothing but browser, but we need API testing also, and we need mobile testing also. And that I'll be covering from the day 20 to 28, which is like 8 hours I'm allotting to API testing and advanced validations of the API testing, which is very main for us. And mobile emulations and responsive testing, mobile testing, and geological network simulations, cloud testing, which is browser stack and Lambda. So why do we need browser stack? Because some cases we need to test in multiple other browsers. Like currently my browser version is, yes, it is 142, right? But in my project, there is a requirement of testing it in 140. So in order to get these browsers, we need browser stack. So even that, I'll help you understand how to get the previous browsers. And not only the previous browsers, we also need a multiple OS versions also. How to do that through browser stack. We'll do that during the cloud testing. And we do have a Docker testing. Docker is also main skill we need, and visual regression testing using the Playwright, and AI driven and self healing. So I saw a chat. I saw a chat in the group earlier in this morning whether we are using MCP servers, right? So we are using MCP servers, but I'm concentrating more on cloud coding. So cloud coding is an AI generated, AI driven model, and I will help you to understand the usage of cloud coding and how an AI model can properly understand our code, how the AI itself can code in behalf of you. So how to leverage that, how to use it, chat GPT. ChatGPT is also very main now because most of the projects are deeply monitoring whether you are using ChatGPT or not in your automation, and how much percentage of the ChatGPT you are using in the automation. Even that is being tracked now. So I'll explain you how to use a ChatGPT in your current project and how to make the things very quick. Okay. So the AI testing, AI driven, I'll help you understand it properly. And I've been using it since quite a few months right now. And the BDD, which is another framework. And at the end, after everything is done, I will help you understand. I'll help you in mock interviews. I'll put few mock interviews so that we can go over the interview questions and see the what are the basics we have learned so far. E-commerce flow. Yeah. So next, master Playwright and build framework. So by the end of the session, you will be able to build the frameworks as well completely and deploy that in CI/CD as well. And I'll help you with the resume preparations. Will help you with the mock interviews as well, because I understand even if we went through the entire slides, mock interviews are main even for me uh, because even after knowing the entire concepts, we should know like which concepts are main in the future and everything, right? So mock interviews, I'll help you with the mock interviews and applying for the jobs, what kind of jobs you need to apply for after knowing the Playwright. And I'll help you with the entire concepts of tracking the interviews also. What are the during my entire sessions, I'll help you near each and every concept, whether that is important or not, whether what questions will ask around that area as well. Okay, so I'll help you with that. And coming to my next slide. So I'll pause it for a moment because we are having a couple of questions in the chat. So what is PyTest used for? Oh, nice question, Jaya. So generally, if you know about the Java. In the Java, we have every coding language like Java or JavaScript or Python, everything has its own test engines. Okay. So if you go with the Java, we have a test engine like JUnit. Okay. We have JUnit and we have TestNG. If you know about the TestNG, it will be easy to correlate now. So in the Java, we have JUnit and TestNG. So these has an inbuilt assertions. Okay, we can directly use it for the testing. So similarly for the Python, we have PyTest as a test engine. Okay, I hope I answered your question. If you have any question, please let me know. Yes. You can unmute yourself and you can ask a question if you want, Jaya. Yeah, okay, great. Thank you. And coming to the next question, is it cover two simple smoke suit for your e-commerce flow? We'll just cover the happy path like with minimal. No. We can play with our automation. You can, as I said earlier, if a test case has a complex flow like 50 to 60 or 100 lines of the code, it is very easy to automate, and we can have it's a playing tool. I can say that it's up to our imagination. We can do n number of steps with that, n number of flows. So yeah, it's not a minimal validation and even the automation testers in the real world, no one expects us to have a minimal validation. Trust me, everyone are keen about the validations we are putting it in our automation suite. And coming to the other question, any dates asking if there will be any break during the Christmas. Oh, that one even I'm not aware, but so far as I'm aware, no bricks. But I'll let you know if we have any updates on that. So coming to the other question which Venkat asked, are we using VS Code or PyTest for execution? Actually, earlier I had a poll in the chat. So according to the poll, everyone, most of them has voted for the VS Code, and even the VS Code is widely used. So if you know the VS Code, you can use it for JavaScript also, and in any other automation tool. So I'm going with the VS Code. So let me know if you have other thoughts on this. Is there any chance of covering DB testing? Wow, I love that you are interested in it. I can add it in our session, but I'll add it in the last. Okay? Yeah. Any other questions? I'll hold on for a few more minutes to take up the
Ye-
questions.
Yeah. So is it fine if I ask here directly?
Definitely, anything is fine here in the
Ye-
class. Can I know
Yeah.
your
So
name first?
yeah, I'm Milind.
Okay. Hi, Milind. Mm.
Hi. Yeah. So my question is like, I have seen like we are also covering CI/CD. So I was
Mm-hmm.
mostly interested. So what my expectation from this session was like,
Okay.
apart from learning the Playwright, so whatever the training sessions that we'll be doing personally, and
Mm.
whatever the work that we'll be covering, so will
Mm.
we be pushing our all the code in the GitHub, in our personal GitHub
Definitely,
repo?
definitely. I'll help you because even GitHub is very mandate because an automation tester should know how to write a code, how to automate an application and maintaining it. GitHub is
Yes.
needed for the maintenance and later how we are doing the CI/CD is also main. So I'll cover all the important concepts.
Yeah, because like my expectation is,
Mm.
so like whatever the training we will be doing, and even like our
Mm.
personal automation practice that we'll be covering, we
Yes,
will push it into GitHub, and we
GitHub.
can have
Mhm.
because like in most of the companies, like when we apply, they even ask for if you have any GitHub repo, your personal repo,
Oh, yeah.
right?
And they
So
will
I want to
even
use
ask you
it.
the steps also, like commands we have for the GitHub. So
Yes,
don't worry,
exactly.
I'll cover you. Sorry, I'll cover those things for you.
Okay,
And
yeah,
those
that
things
will be
are
really helpful.
included. Yeah, definitely. I'll help you with all the interview concepts, trust me, because I have shifted for close to 5 companies now. So I have a good idea, good amount. I wouldn't say clear because there is so much to learn in the market. I have some idea about what are the interview questions we have in the around this playwright and what are the expectations of the interviewer, everything.
Hmm.
So I'll cover them.
Okay, thank you.
LinkedIn, right? Yeah. And so now, do we have any other questions? If you want, you can directly speak it, no problem. We are flexible. You can either chat, I'll get it from the chat box, or you can directly speak. Okay. So now I'll go to the next slide. So you are learning investment. So what we are going to do as part of, I'm just giving you the investments you are doing as part of this session is like we are going to have we need 30 hours of your time to help you understand the complete automation part and the complete estate journey, and also want you to be I would say, since it's a 30 hours journey, I want your 100% punctuality and hands-on whenever by the end of each and every session, I will be giving you the assignment and I will be asking you to work something around it. So I want your hands-on practice as well. And over the 30 hours, we are going to cover more than 28 concepts, which I've shown you in our curriculum. Yes. So now the major question. So what job roles are we going to apply for? Once you know the concepts of this. So you can happily apply for automation test engineer role. You can apply for estate roles because we are also involving CI/CDs. We are also involving Dockers. We are also involving mobile testing. We are also involving API and Simran asked the DB testing as well. So you can directly apply for the estate and you can apply for Python automation engineer as well, and Playwright engineer, QA automation analyst. So these are the roles which you can focus on, which you can happily apply as soon as we are done with the content. And coming to our next slide, the most interesting one, the salary expectations. So these are the salaries which I know feasible, but the range can also improve or it will be around the range. Okay. For the estate, so these are for the 87 plus, and this is for 5 to 7, this is for 3 to 5, and for the freshers. And the freshers you already know, it's like the market, the company, it depends on the company, because during the freshers you won't be having multiple skills, so they will take you in as per their policy. But once after the first company, once you started switching, the remote will be in your hand based on the tools you have it, and you can demand the market according to your needs as well. Okay, and the next slide, question and answers round. I think we are end of the slides and we are close to 10. So I'll have this forum again for the question and answers. If someone has missed it earlier, you can again ask it here over in the chat box or.
Yeah, hi, Amit
Yeah.
here.
Hi, Amit.
Yeah, just wanted to know, like, are we going to create any project and then we are learning, or we are going to create we have used the dummy e-commerce site or something like that way to create our code?
So for the project to build, we need a dummy e-commerce website only, right?
Yeah.
So
But it's
yeah, we will be doing a complete end-to-end. So for that, I'll first have a dummy e-commerce website again, and then we will formulate the test cases from it. Okay, we'll create first the manual test cases out of it, and then we'll start automating it first normally, and then we'll include our frameworks in it, like the page object model or the BDD model, and then have it pushed into the GitHub. And after the GitHub, we will see how to add it in our CI/CD pipeline and trigger our execution in the GitHub Actions.
Okay, and the report generation part is also covered in that part, right?
It is needed. Yeah.
Okay, and we can integrate into some messaging tool like Slack or something like that way. The report can be generated on that side as well.
I will be showing you till the generation of the report and getting the how to download it. But the Slack and every features, those are not available here in this project, I believe. But I can check about it.
Yeah, it's a free one, so we can try that. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
If it is free, then yeah, we can try it.
Yes. Yeah, we'll get 30 days trial period, something that way.
I'll check with the team if it's again in trial period version. But yeah, I'll get it. I'll see what I can do around it. Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you.
Hi, Tripura. I have a couple of questions actually. So I was waiting for end of the call. Okay. So this is Vinod. Because so the reason why I'm not asking in the middle, that might be you will be covering during the session if I have that question. So I have couple of questions. So the first question is that I think somebody asked about the DB. So that's really good. You covered a little part. So my question here is that can we do automation, DB automation using this Playwright? And can we connect to the database?
We can do it. Playwright actually supports that as well.
Okay. So will you, are you going to cover that in the session sometime at the end or somewhere to show any sample?
So I think it would be great to have a high level understanding about the DB as well. But I have to check whether the connections, how free it is. So yeah, I'll explain with the trial version.
Yeah, the connection part is little tough for everybody. I mean, at least for me, it is tough. So that's why I'm asking that question. Okay, so the good to hear on that one. And the second question is that recordings. So after the class, I saw somewhere that you're going to provide the recordings. I mean, either from the institute side or from your side.
Yeah.
So that will be accessible at anywhere, or you have any internal application or any internal app to access that.
We have a YouTube page, so there we will be uploading our recordings. So it will be a lifetime access for you. So you can check it anytime.
Okay, so it's as long as if you can watch the YouTube, we can access those videos.
Yes, that's right.
And there is another question, like regarding support, Tripura, like for example, after these 30 days. Okay. So if you have any questions, still you are okay for us to help if we post any question to you either in the group or one-to-one or any forum.
Yeah. So I'll be happy to help you at any time.
Okay. And one more thing that in generally about the notes. Okay, I know the notes might be a silly question, but the thing why I'm asking is that so nowadays in the market, what will happen is that when we are having these kind of sessions, there will be a bunch of documents. Okay, so they'll say that okay, so these are the topics we covered, and if you ask any questions, okay, I shared the document, go ahead and check it that. So because let's say there is a document which is having 100 pages. So reading 100 pages is
I
very
understand
different.
the pain.
You know, right?
I understand the pain.
So
So
are
the
you
notes
going
like
to?
such currently I'm not providing anything. So whatever it's mostly like an interactive session. If by now you should already you should already understand the way I teach, right? So it's mostly like an interaction session. So I'll be happy to explain you everything over the call, and you can take as much of the notes you can take it. But I'm not providing any notes from my side. Yeah.
So I have two more questions. Sorry.
Yeah,
so
please
the
proceed.
Next one is that let's say, for example, a person like who is having a 10 years experience. Okay. So the person who is starting the learning Playwright now. So how can that person present himself or herself in the market saying that I'm having this much of experience into Playwright? So 10 years experience means they'll ask a lot of from you. If you say Playwright is having 10 years of experience, it's like, huge actually. So when you go for the interview also, it's very tough.
I got you. So regarding the complexity of the interview, how to crack it, right?
Yep.
So as I told you earlier, near each and every topic, I'll explain you what are the interview questions will get asked around that area. Even 10 years, I'll keep in mind about the 10 years for sure, and also the higher experience candidate also, because I've had a multiple interviews for myself as well. So I have a high level knowledge about what questions and what is the expectations from the interviewer standpoint. So I'll do my best to provide as much as the interview questions one can get around a single topic. So in that way, it will be easy. I won't say you will be cracked in a first interview itself because of the questions I'm giving you in, but at least it will provide you a strong basement for you to build up further.
True. So that's covered a little part of my question, but one more part of my question is saying that let's say you got a call from recruiter saying that we are looking for a Python automation or SDET. So how much experience you have into that one? Mean to say that can we say like 7 years into let's say manual or ETL and 3 years into all Playwright? Will that work?
Okay. So how to sell yourself? Yeah, you can say it, because most of them see Playwright is a new tool. So I won't say it is brand new, but it is still booming now, right? So you can say close to 2 to 3 years of experience and start it from there. All they need, all they'll see it's like how we are doing well in the interview. So most of the calls which I received also, they are seeing whether at least you have close to 2 years or not. If they are not asking like your entire experience should be in the Playwright, they'll see, are you confident enough to take up the Playwright testing? Are you confident enough to go till the interview and crack it? So 2 to 3 years. 3 years is very good to say it. 2 is in a safer zone.
Okay. So
I hope I answered.
That's answered. Answered my question. And the next one is that you say like we are covering the page object model as a framework, right? So
we are
what
covering
else
BDD too.
BDD too, right? Okay, BDD and POM, right? So other than these two, do we have any other frameworks also inside the Playwright? In general, to know.
Normally, no. I did not come across it. Mostly, but with the Selenium, I know we have many, but the Playwright, mostly these things are 95% we will be only using this. 5% cases, I have to investigate more on that. But these are the majorly used.
Okay. So last question I have, but this is an advanced question, might be okay. So we have I was reading some article in the Google about Playwright. When I look at that, I do see that there is something which says that code gen. So which will record the
I am going to cover that also.
Right.
I
so
have
we are
also
covering
showed that in
right?
your I have shown you the content, right? So there the code gen is also included.
Yeah, so when we are using the code gen, so my question is that it's going to record all your actions and all, give some code. So and you can convert into whatever the code you want, either JavaScript, Python, whatever the one,
We
right?
need to add
So
a setup framework and everything
right.
for that.
So here my question is that after recording, do we need to spend any manual efforts again to convert that code into framework, or
yes, we have
we
to.
need to do?
We have to. It gives a direct thing. If you're clicking on something, it will show that page.click and give the XPath over there or the locator over there and do something, right? So that again, we need a manual intervention for sure. But if you are integrating it with our Claude coding using MCP from the MCP servers, so there the manual intervention will be very less. So that's another advanced than CodeGen. So I'll explain you that also in our next sessions.
Yeah, thanks. That's all my questions I have. But honestly, I don't want to go into that MCP server and all, because if we go there, you'll get habituated and that will write everything in the code and it will run. That's it.
That's
so
true.
I don't
That's
want to
true.
go I don't want to go to that part, but I honestly want to spend some time to learn. So because that's the way how we can crack the interview.
We are already spending close to 20 hours only for the Playwright, only for the Python. I think close to 25 hours. Sorry. So the next 5 hours, in that 1 hour, I'm just explaining you how to use the concepts of cloud coding. So in the future, if you change your mind to use it, then you should know the concept around it.
Okay. Thanks a lot. Yeah. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you for the questions. Any other questions?
Yeah. Hi. This is Vishnavardhan Tripura. Like you said, like framework, right? Like how much coverage you are going to cover in the framework? Because basically, few trainers will do like, okay, this is a login page and this is a home page. Then under the test, they will cover like 1 or 2. Okay, so then you can do for remaining. So the folder structure, like in detail, are you covered like high level you are going to cover?
It won't be like a high level, because if you see my content, it is for entire 1 hour I'm spending only for the page object model. So during that, before that itself, we will be creating most of our test cases. So I'll help you there understanding how to formulate, how to have the structures and all. Okay, so we are spending the complete 1 hour, and it will cover all the required essential concepts. Because in my current project, I am using BDD, and before that also I use page object model. I'll practically do the knowledge sharing of what and all are required as part of page object model.
Okay.
Yeah, and if you still feel like it is not enough, you can ask me anytime, and we can dig further more about the page object model as well.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, thank you very much.
Hi Tripura, this is Venkat.
Hello Venkat. Yeah.
In a maximum cases, like already Vishnu asked, like in a maximum cases in the frameworks that we have seen, just only by taking our 2 or 3 screens and they're going to explain the basic code. I hope it won't be in that particular format, right? We are going to cover the entire folder structure.
Sure. And since
why? Because to be frank, in Hyderabad, most of the institutes they used to say, and whatever they're going to tell in the demo sessions, that will be totally different while coming to the real. So that's the reason I'm asking. So you are going to cover including the folder structure and uploading the data from the CSV files and the reports, right?
Yeah, since both of you have particularly concentrated on page object model, I'll be more cautious to explain the complete delivery about the page object model.
Why? Because currently in our organization, we are using Selenium with the POM itself.
With?
Selenium with? Selenium with Java.
I mean the framework you are using.
Page object model only. They're working with the page object model.
Okay,
so
then that's nice.
But I'm not in Selenium because I had a 4 years of gap and to recover.
Understood.
Currently I'm working with a manual DB as well as with the ETL.
Okay. ETL, nice.
So and our organization that they are planning to work with the Playwrights with the Python.
Okay.
So that's the reason I asked whether we can cover the DB also. We can validate the data.
I noted that. I'll check the Playwright automation with the DB connections and all, and I'll try my best to cover that too. I'll add that in the curriculum.
Sure. Okay, sure. Thank you.
Yes. And any other questions? And I like that the session is more interactive today. So we have close to 3 hours for, so there's a question now. So how much hours will be giving for Python basics? So we are planning for 3 hours. No. And the next questions, weekends we have classes? No. It is from Monday to Friday. And Monday to Friday, 9 to 10 p.m. IST. Honestly, it will be sufficient. So the next question here is 3 hours sufficient to understand the whole Python? So honestly, I feel like it should be more than enough. But if the further required, then we can extend a class or two to understand more or to have a more hands-on around the Python. But yes, it will be sufficient from the automation perspective.
So better if we focus a little more in a Python, that would be helpful for the QA team because maximum the QA team and QA people, those who are not having in-depth knowledge on the development side, they are going to choose testing parts.
So that's the main
to be
thing.
frank, when we go to any of the interview, instead of asking about a testing area, they are going to focus more on a development area. So there, most of the people, they are failing. So better if you focus like in the interview point of view to crack the interview also. Why? Because some people, they use today how to print the stars, how to print the triangle and everything they used to say. Instead of that, if we go in the real time world, that would be helpful for everyone.
Definitely. So so that's the reason why we are also having the assessments at the end. So these assessments and also the code which I'm going to cover during the basics practically covers the real-time interview questions too. So what are the things? So mostly if you see, it will be around the manipulations of the string and using of the tuples and having the inheritance. And also understanding a bit of how the memory is being used and all. So we are covering that everything in our 3 hour session. So let's have the session first complete, and later if you still feel like something is lagging, if you still feel like something you need something more to understand, we can proceed. We can also adjust our timings accordingly. But honestly, the 3 hours will be, and the concepts which I'm going to cover will practically cover the interview sessions as well. Even if you're going with the Java, they'll ask you Fibonacci series and trim the spaces from the between and do a reverse and everything. Yeah, I understand what you told, but we will cover that. Don't worry.
And now, whatever the concepts. Sorry. And one more thing, like whatever the topics that you are going to cover for a Python, that will be sufficient to be SDET, or we need to dig in depth about the Python programming.
Sorry, can you repeat? I missed it. Hello?
Yes. In general, if to be a SDET, do we need to dig more in a Python or whatever that you're going to?
Yeah, my sessions so my sessions I have planned it for the SDET. So in order to become an SDET, you should focus more on CI/CD as well. So not only Python, you need it till the extent of coding, I mean the automation perspective. But after automating, what you are going to do and how you are automating, I mean the framework structure and what you are going to do with that code and how you are facilitating the pipeline execution, the robust regression. So those things all combined make you an estate, correct? So I'll focus on those things. I'll also focus on those things.
Okay. And are you going to cover any Jenkins in this for CI/CD?
I am using GitHub Actions because Jenkins is an older version. Because most of the code will be in the GitHub Actions in GitHub, correct? So in the future and even currently, most of them are using GitHub Actions. So I'm planning to use the GitHub Actions for that.
Okay.
So it's the latest one. So Jenkins, consider Jenkins like a Selenium and GitHub Actions is like Playwright. So how one is latest and one is the most prominent one. Okay, I think it's 10:30 now. Any other questions, guys, you have? Yes. I hope I answered all your questions and looking forward to see you in the next class. And regarding the sessions and the timings or the furthermore details about the payment details and everything, you can directly reach out to the admin team. I'll drop the number in the group chat. So you can directly contact them to have more understanding about the code, about the recordings or how to access the YouTube links and the course cost and everything. And as the other question asked regarding the holidays, you can also get the info from the admin team. Yeah. Thank you, everyone. It's great talking with you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.